School Street Extension project. And we do have an HOP application in with PennDOT. You will see an agenda item tonight. That is for additional costs to Wooster and Associates. They are handling the application process for us, and the fees, due to the time frame and the excessive comments from PennDOT, are necessary to continue the process. So you'll see that on the agenda tonight, along with an agreement with MDM to prepare the easement documents to use Mr. Barnes' property for that turning radius. So we are waiting on the permit from PennDOT, but you do see the action tonight to expedite that process. Boiler Manor roof, again, another agenda item tonight. That is a change order for a credit of $2,000, and that's for cosmetic damage to an HVAC unit. Once that is approved, that project will be closed out. So that's another one we'll be completely finished with. Cecil Intermediate Classroom carpet replacement. Graham Construction will be on site Monday, this upcoming Monday, to start demolition and getting all the old carpet out of the building. They anticipate a 10-day project, so it's a really quick turnaround to the entire building. So that's another one that mid-July we should be able to close out. Baseball and softball turf infields, again, it's on the agenda tonight. We did receive bids to turf the infields of both projects. Well, we received a bid. Unfortunately, it was over double what we expected. So you will see the recommendation tonight is to go out to rebid. When we reached out to companies that we expected to come in and bid, they were just kind of overwhelmed with projects currently. So they didn't have the ability to get us in, so they didn't bid on our project, and one person that did must have known that. So we are recommending to take that out to rebid at a more favorable time to get a price point that we were expecting. Lastly, the middle school project, I'll just touch on some markers that we hit. We completed in the building the entire window installation. We have permanent power into the entire building, so we eliminated the temporary power. Ceramic tile is installed throughout the entire building. The drywall is finished, hung and finished in the entire building. And the ductwork in all of the classrooms for the HVAC is now complete as well. The projects that are continuing to work on, the ceiling grid in the entire building. We started the external, so the curbs, the sidewalks, and preparing for landscaping. The temperature controls and fire alarm wiring is going in throughout the building at this time, and painting and insulating all the plumbing is currently taking place as well. When I began, I said there was a low light for the night tonight, and our lighting fixtures for the building were initially scheduled to be here in April, and then May, and then this week, and now mid-July. While that's not a total shutdown of the project, it does give us issues with completing. So we use a sequence of work, and work has to be completed in a certain order to make the building turn out the way it needs to turn out.
Jordan, I have to cut in here, because I was in Buildings and Grounds the other day. When we were having this discussion, Greer, our architect, was telling us that the project is still on board to open when it was supposed to. This lighting fixture issue is the one thing that could mess that up.
Correct.
And we were looking for new input as to when that might happen. Are we now like in the danger spot for not being able to open up?
So we had a coordination meeting today, and as of yesterday, we didn't have a date that was executed. Today, the vice president of the company that's providing those came to the meeting, and we're going to start receiving them the week after July 4th. So we still are in the window to open on time. It will cause us slight delays, so substantial completion did slip from October to late November, beginning of December. But that is final on our timeline. And today's coordination meeting went very well. We were able to maneuver some of the trades. So we want to follow that sequence of work. But there are areas that we can kind of change that sequence of work and still be able to complete the project the way we want to complete the project. So all the contractors came together today, and we discussed a way to get flooring installed, get casework installed, and still be able to protect those things while we do the lighting fixtures.
Are we changing the cadence of the meetings to weekly? like talked
We are
about?
also moving from bi-weekly to weekly coordination meetings starting next Wednesday, so, well, it's not the greatest news. Looking at the overall project, we are looking to move in over Christmas break as planned next year. And with weekly coordination meetings, we should be able to keep a better watch and have some better updates for you.
Relative to Joe's comment before about fuel prices, are we not locked in, or are we at the mercy of the market right now?
So our consortium, their contract ended last year. And it was obviously during this time of turmoil when prices rising and lowering. So right now, we're at the mercy of whatever the price rack is off the rack, that's what we're buying until we can lock in. So what saved us on this last school year was that we always carry over some from the year before, and we're locked in on that price for the year before. We use that, and now we are just buying off the rack.
Is there any plans for the consortium to do any more bargaining to get better prices?
So they did go back out, put a bid out, they accepted a bid, and that bid is just rack price minus X amount of cents, whether it's diesel, gasoline, but they won't lock that in until the rack price is something that we all agree on. So they are out there, they are working towards a deal, but right now it's just not a good time.
How big is the consortium?
Allegheny Intermediate School, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, if I may, to back up to the baseball, softball fields, there were a couple of questions from some in the community about an agenda item that you alluded to that will be reviewed tonight, or well, it's on the agenda tonight for voting for next week. And that item is reject the bid for the fields, right, for turfing the fields. That doesn't mean that the project is going away. It simply means we're asking the board to formally reject that bid so that it does open the door for us to be able to entertain newer bids or other bids.
Correct, it would be to rebid the project at a more opportune time to get other bidders involved.
Thanks.